They figured they could intimidate my family. They figured sending 3 bikers onto my land would make me fold. What they didn't know was who I am, and that they'd chosen the wrong household to target. Before we begin, drop a comment telling me which country you're watching from. Let's see how far this story goes. It was an ordinary Tuesday afternoon in Oak Ridge Meadows. The sun was dipping low, warm light spilling across the lawns, when I pulled my truck into the drive and froze. My wife Sarah was backed up against the chicken coop. Her voice was calm, but her stance told me she was ready for trouble. 3 bikers stood around her patched vests hanging heavy, their motorcycles idling behind them like growling animals. One leaned closer than he should, flashing a grin full of bad teeth. I shut off the truck and stepped out. My body remembered an old rhythm, the kind of readiness you don't lose after years in uniform. Gravel crunched under my boots, and the biker at the front spun to face me. "OA business," he barked. Like that, gave him permission to be on my property. Sarah's eyes found mine steady but thankful. She wasn't the type to panic, but 3 against 1 is never fair. "You've got 30 seconds to explain yourselves." I told him, my voice low, and measured the kind of voice that used to make rookies fall in line during training. The man smirked. "President Loretta doesn't like you ignoring her notices. Think of this as encouragement." I nearly laughed. Loretta, our HOA's self-proclaimed ruler, had been itching for a fight ever since I challenged her nonsense. She fined us over the chicken coop, complained about stacked firewood, and pushed rules that didn't even fall under her authority. Now she thought sending muscle after my wife would scare us into obedience. Her mistake was thinking fear would work. "You've got 3 minutes to leave," I said. "If you're still here after that, you'll regret it." He took my calmness for weakness. Big mistake. The leader reached toward Sarah. That was his last move. Before my brain caught up, my training kicked in. I snatched his wrist twisted and slammed him into the gravel so hard a cloud of dust rose up around us. His buddies froze. Their leader had just been folded in half by a man holding a coffee mug in his free hand. "Next," I said evenly. The second guy swung sloppy. I ducked, hooked his arm, and redirected his weight straight into the chicken coop fence. Feathers exploded as hens clucked in alarm. Sarah even cracked a smile. The third man hesitated. His bike roared under him as if noise could save him where fists had failed. I walked straight up, grabbed the handlebars, and yanked. The motorcycle toppled sideways, pinning his leg under chrome and steel. He screamed, thrashing, but he wasn't going anywhere. "Tell your boss," I said, crouching over him. "If she ever sends men to threaten my wife again, she won't get them back at all." That broke them. The 2 still standing helped their friend, stammering apologies as they limped off. One muttered, "We didn't sign up for this." "Man, we thought it was just a scare job." Sarah walked over, brushing off her jeans. 3 minutes exactly, she said, checking her watch. By sundown, the story spread. And that evening, HOA President Loretta stormed to my door, pearl necklace bouncing as she shrieked about assault and property damage. But the bruised bikers weren't eager to file reports. They were too humiliated. And I had every second saved on my security cameras. When Loretta demanded answers, I simply played the footage, watching her face pale as she realized the trap she'd walked into was worth every second. Instead of me cowering, she now had 3 furious bikers, reconsidering their deal with her and undeniable video tying her to intimidation. At the next HOA meeting, rumors were already swirling. Neighbors whispered about the bikers limping away, about the recording I had, and about Loretta's involvement. I didn't deny a word. I set my laptop up on the projector, hit play, and let the video roll. The room went silent as they watched 3 bikers confront Sarah, and me dismantling them while sipping coffee. Laughter broke out when the audio caught one biker whining, "The HOA president paid us." Loretta jumped up, shouting that it was out of context, but by then half the room was recording with their phones. One neighbor stood and read aloud from the law: criminal coercion, intimidation, harassment. Loretta had just turned the HOA into her personal gang, and now everyone knew it. The bikers cut a deal with the sheriff the next day, handing over texts, receipts, and even a note on HOA letterhead promising payment. Loretta was served before the week was out, charged with conspiracy. harassment, and misuse of funds. When deputies led her out in cuffs, she shouted about neighborhood safety. But Sarah and I just stood on our porch, coffee mug in my hand again, watching neighbors wave and clap as the patrol cars rolled away. The HOA voted her out unanimously. New rules were put in place: transparency, budget oversight, and a ban on scare tactics. The best part? The same bikers showed up weeks later, not in leather, but in work shirts. They offered to help fix fences and do repairs around the neighborhood as part of restitution. I just smiled. As long as you don't mess with my wife again, we'll get along just fine. Sometimes HOA presidents think they run the world. Loretta thought she commanded an army. She forgot some of us know how to fight back. And harder than she could ever imagine.